Our next presenter is Colm Hatton. Colm is from Balcas Energy. Colm is the Business Development Manager for the Republic of Ireland at Balcas. He has over 40 years of experience in sales, sales management and customer service, and he works closely with commercial operators, industrial scale steam and heat users to advocate for the benefits of carbon neutral wood pellet fuels and advanced wood pellet powder burning combustion technology. So Colm, I'd invite you to come to the stage. I just have to get your presentation up here now, 1 second.
Thanks, Sean. Good afternoon, everybody. Hopefully, I think there's a lot of information with good presentations that were made earlier on today and a lot of information in them, and I think I'm going to drag a lot of that information into my presentation and show you how we at Balcas Energy are already doing a lot of that, or actually have an aspiration to do it. And so without further ado, yes, we're part of Glennon Brothers. We have 8 manufacturing locations across Great Britain and the island of Ireland. And at Balcas, we process the complete tree. There's no waste. We're processing more than 2 million tonnes of sustainably sourced wood fibre annually, producing 850,000 cubic metres of sawn timber products, 180,000 tonnes of wood pellets, equivalent to about 850 gigawatt hours of heat. We operate 3 CHPs and 1 wood chip boiler, which are all fueled with forest and sawmill residues, and we're generating 106 gigawatt hours of electricity and 319 gigawatt hours of heat annually for use in our production processes. Glennon Brothers is an Irish family-owned business, and it's around 450 million euros per annum turnover, and we've 900 plus employees, about half of which are on the island of Ireland, and a further 450 euro plus employed indirectly in the forest industry. So I want to ask you a question. Do you guys, anyone who is using process heat, do you have a load that looks similar to this? Have you looked at biomass in the past and been told that it wasn't possible for whatever reason? Or possibly your load profile didn't suit? Or have you been told that your site doesn't have space to run a biomass system? This is the steam loader, one of the Scottish distilleries we've been supplying steam for over 10 years, using our locally manufactured wood pellets. We supply them around 20 million kilowatt hours of heat every year. Kilowatt hours of steam to run their distilleries. And traditional wood pellet and wood chip biomass boilers are a very effective decarbonisation for industrial scale heat users. And now there is another option as well. And that is wood pellet powder burner systems. These are a tried and tested technology from a company called IrBEA, who are owned by Vinci. There's many proven installations throughout Europe. They cope like fossil fuel with variable loads from 3 to 50 megawatts, and they're dual fuel for startup and backup. Existing boiler conversions are possible, and they make wood pellets a very viable option for large industrial scale steam, hot water and thermal oil users. As well as drying applications such as cement, aggregates and bitumen. And this slide here shows a 5 megawatt steam system currently running in Scotland. It's the one Noel mentioned earlier on. It's on the Isle of Jura. It's just been commissioned last month. It has high efficiency heat output. The flame is horizontal like oil or gas, and there's no moving grate, which makes a huge difference for maintenance and cost of maintenance. It atomises the fuel like gas or oil and enables instant on-off modulation and temperature control. It has a small footprint, more like a fossil fuel system. There's no moving parts inside the boiler, so again, reduced maintenance costs. The other features and benefits would much smaller infrastructure requirement for both the system and the fuel storage, and can be fitted into existing infrastructure depending on the site. They're scalable from 3 to 50 megawatts, and they're dual fueled, including they could be dual fueled with biogas or bio-oil. Some sites are going to have AD systems and things like that, but probably not enough to run their whole system, but you could dual fuel it with a powder burner system. They cover peaky loads like a fossil fuel system. There's a 4-to-1 turn down on them. Significantly reduced maintenance costs, 92% efficiency. And these systems work by they mill the wood pellets back down into wood powder. And you use pellets rather than sawdust because it's the amount of energy that you can store in a very small amount of space. Wood powder is it's like sawdust with very small consistent particle size. It increases the surface area, making it much more reactive for combustion compared to whole pellets. The powder is delivered using a pneumatic feed system, and this ensures a consistent and controllable fuel flow, especially for large-scale or continuous operations. Inside the burner, the wood powder is atomized, essentially sprayed onto the combustion chamber. It behaves like a fine mist or gas mixing with air in a highly efficient air-fuel ratio. The powder ignites almost instantly due to its fine texture. And because the particles are so small, they burn very cleanly and completely, reaching high temperatures with low emissions. The result is a stable flame and steady heat output, suitable for replacing fossil fuels in industrial boilers and thermal processes. The burner integrates with existing boiler or process heating systems, transferring the heat into water, steam, or thermal oil, depending on the site's needs. It's ideal for food factories, distilleries, drying facilities, as I said. And why it's different from pellet stoves or boilers is, unlike standard pellet boilers, which rely on bulky or solid fuel combustion, this system atomizes the fuel. It's like gas or oil. It enables instant on-off modulation and temperature control, and burns at higher efficiency with faster response times. It can be installed in larger scale or more demanding industrial applications up to 50 megawatts. There you see the different applications, including the powder feed, the powder hopper, the burner feed, the powder feed to the burner, and then pneumatic cleaning tubes, which intermittently blow compressed air through the heating tubes to make sure the soot doesn't build up. The flue gas treatment is this is an ESP, so these are sized, depending on the size of the burner, to guarantee compliance with MCPD. You see that at the bottom there you have the ash bin, and that in this site here, this is a 6 megawatt system. It's at a food factory in Sweden, and that ash bin only has to be emptied about once every 6 weeks. Balcas Energy wood pellets are coming in with an ash content of about 0.3%. The fuel silos then, they're vertical fuel silos with a very small site footprint. We can deliver in full load Arctic. It takes about 20-30 minutes to fully unload each delivery. Our fuel has a very high energy density, so for a 5 megawatt system, typically 3 to 4 deliveries per week, even with 24/7 usage. Remote monitoring and technical support is available, as well as automatic fuel ordering. You see there the screens, the very same as you'd see with a fossil fuel system, including the fuel silos where they are, so that enables us to ensure that you always have fuel on site. So again, these systems are suitable for many different applications, like dairy processors, pharma industry, distilleries, food production, meat processors, breweries, malting plants, industrial laundries, district heating. They're so flexible that it can even be used for asphalt production, which is a different process because it's used direct flame. And that's a picture there is of a powder burner being retrofitted onto an aggregate drying drum, again at a site in Sweden. And there's a number of sites in Sweden where they're making asphalt with powder burners. So I suppose any system is only as sustainable as the fuel it's burning, and that's where our wood pellets come in. So our pellets are manufactured to consistent, rigorous standards. We manufacture to EM plus A1 standard, which gives us a quality fuel that cannot be matched by other forms of forest biomass. For example, moisture content for the standard has to be less than 10%. Our long-term score is coming in at 7.5%. Calorific value has to be better than 4.6 kilowatt hours a kilo, and Balcas Energy long-term score is 4.8. And ash content has to be less than 0.7, and ours coming in at 0.3%. So our pellets are manufactured from sawmill residues as a co-product of our sawmill in Enniskillen, and the primary products are construction, agricultural and pallet timber, which lock in the CO2. And again, we do not chop down trees to make fuel. Our pellets are manufactured using green electricity and green heat from our on-site CHP plants, which are fueled with sawmill and forest residues. This is a carbon neutral fuel. It's not subject to carbon tax. It's cost competitive with fossil fuels, and it's very much a product of the circular bioeconomy. Nothing is wasted. Spoke earlier on about certification requirements. And the directives, the Renewable Energy RED 2 and RED 3 directives are there in place to ensure that biomass fuel is from sustainable sources and land is not being diverted from other agri-uses to make fuel. So different greenhouse gas emissions reduction scores are applied depending on the fuel being produced, where the raw material is coming from, and the source of the energy that is used to produce it. For wood pellets made from wood industry residues, as ours are, there are 3 cases that are used. So case 1 refers to processes in which a natural gas boiler is used to provide the process heat to the pellet mill, and electricity is from the grid, and the score there that those pellets receive is 75% reduction in greenhouse gas. Case 2 refers to processes in which a wood chip boiler is used to provide process heat to the pellet mill and electricity is from the grid, and that gets an 87% score. And case 3 refers to processes in which a CHP fed with wood chips is used to provide electricity and heat to the pellet mill, and that's what we do, that's our process, and we receive a greenhouse gas reduction score of 95%. Our certifications then, for the purposes of that, we spoke about SURE earlier on, but the certification that we have is SBP, which certifies that our pellets are compliant with the Renewable Energy Directive and the Revised Renewable Energy Directive. EM Plus sets the standard for pellet quality and sustainability and is the recommended global standard for wood pellets. And we're the only entity on the island of Ireland to hold pellet producer and pellet distributor EM Plus certification. FSC is the Forest Stewardship Council, which certifies that the harvested timber processed in our sawmill is from sustainable sources. WFQA is the one Noel manages over here. And then we are also registered with the EPA as a solid fuel producer. As regards availability and security of supply, so for long-term contracts, we can guarantee security of supply. What we offer is scale. We have multiple production sites within our business, 8 in total, all producing wood products and all generating sawmill residues. So only 2 are making pellets, so that means we have 6 that are not. So there's a huge opportunity there for increased production if demand is there. And that doesn't take into account potential timber processing expansion in the future. We have a well-established, robust supply chain with our own forestry team, and 30% of our raw material comes from private landowners. So we have a broad supply base. We have more than 6,000 customers, and we make 25,000 plus deliveries annually. Our back office team manages this supply across 2 islands from Enniskillen. We supply everything from small domestics to industrial process steam users and everything in between. And that's very important. The fact that I'm here today talking about industrial scale decarbonisation with wood pellets, it doesn't mean that we're not doing anything below that. We do everything, and we will continue to do everything. So if there's any SSR or H application, or even a domestic that's looking for pellets, we're your go-to people. We say we set the standard, not just in Ireland, but across GB as well. We operate a system of planned maintenance and predictive maintenance on key systems and components, which make sure our plant is always running. We maintain critical spares of key and long-time components of more than £3 million at our sites. And we have an experienced operating and maintenance team that have allowed us to operate this type of plant successfully for more than 20 years. Every year we spend more than £3 million on maintenance of our plants. We also have regular CapEx projects where we look to increase efficiency and reliability of the plants. And that's very important. As part of Lennon Brothers, since they've come in, they have a record of every year investing in our plants and improving efficiency. The total wood pellets we produce annually is 180,000 tonnes, which are all locally produced and made from locally grown forest harvesting residues. That's local to each plant. These are clean residues are used to produce the wood pellets, while the rest is used to power the biomass CHP plants. Wood pellet production facilities operate 24/7. There's a 2-week shutdown each year required for planned and statutory maintenance. Staggered maintenance periods are there so that only one plant is out of operation at any time. And we've meticulously planned shutdowns. We supplement our own site teams with experienced local contractors and engineers. We spend some 12,000 man-hours during each shutdown, making sure everything is in good shape for another 8,400 hours runtime. That means there's more than 100 people operating on our CHPs when the maintenance has been done. Until the next annual shutdown. Of course, other pellet manufacturers and suppliers operate on the island as well, including Laois, Leinster Pellets and Shamrock Renewables. But we would say we set the standard. We also offer a turnkey integrated solution. So in addition to our own team, Balcas Energy works closely with partners to provide turnkey solutions, including fuel supply, burner system installation, fuel storage, maintenance and technical support, ensuring a seamless transition from fossil fuels. If preferred, we can supply heat or steam on a cost per kilowatt hour basis, therefore only paying for energy consumed and not paying for inventory on site. Contract to maintain burner, we have our own customer engineering team, as I said earlier. We look after our large installations in Scotland, and they provide planned maintenance and breakdown cover. We have a track record of successfully running large biomass plants 24/7 for 20 plus years. Remote boiler monitoring, including fuel levels and automatic replenishment, is also available. And pricing models are available, which removes the traded element from pricing and all the risks that can bring. That provides confidence and transparency for the customer. These are formula-based with index of available information about raw materials and other cost components. It's agreed at the start of the contract with regular reviews. And that's it. Thank you.